Alice was being driven out by her mother-in-law. The reason was that she hadn't had a child after being married for many years. Even her husband thought it was all Elisa's fault. However, the truth was that it was her husband, who was infertile, and he was also planning to divorce her. It turned out that the man had already cheated on her, and even brought the mistress right in front of Alice. Feeling betrayed, she decided to hire a lawyer to file for divorce. But on the day of the court session, the two parties met unexpectedly. When the man saw a strange man standing beside Alice, he began to accuse the woman of betraying him. He also insulted the man beside her, calling him a marriage breaker. But in fact, the man was a lawyer.
Doria, get up and go make us some tea.
The woman in front of her was taking a walk with a lawyer. On the way, she happened to see her husband hugging another woman. Before she could even start asking questions, she was questioned by her husband. Her husband also slandered her, claiming that her behavior with the man beside her was inappropriate, and suspecting that he had been cuckolded. It turned out that the woman had long wanted to divorce her husband. Since they got married, they had never had a child. However, the man always thought it was the woman's fault. He not only began to ignore her, but also let his mother humiliate her. What was even more excessive was that the man actually found another woman outside and brought her home. When the woman saw this scene, she felt extremely painful inside. So she decided to hire a lawyer to divorce the man, which led to the scene at the beginning of this story.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my... Doria!
The man in front of him bought a lottery ticket worth up to $2 billion. But now, he has found the woman he likes. He heard that the woman was about to get married, and was involved in a lawsuit. The woman was surprised to see the man suddenly appear. After a period of conversation, she learned that the man was also a lawyer, and worked at New York's top law firm. Then she decided to ask the man to handle her divorce lawsuit for her. And the man agreed. The man, who had gone outside the lottery shop, was very lucky to win the lottery. He was thrilled when he found out that he had won $2 billion. Subsequently, he decided to take the woman on a trip. Unfortunately, on the way, the two of them met the woman's ex-husband and his mistress, and a quarrel broke out between them.
Fucking cunt.
After successfully getting a divorce, the woman embarked on a spending spree. She directly called on her sisters and friends to celebrate together. Ever since she got married, she had been constantly neglected, and even suffered domestic violence from her husband. One day, while she was shopping at a mall, unfortunately, she ran into her ex-husband's mother. The woman, who originally wanted to leave directly, was called out. Thus, the two of them started to quarrel in public. Fortunately, a police officer showed up and put an end to their farce. After returning home, the woman was determined to take revenge on her ex-husband's family. She made a phone call directly, and it was the newly emerged mistress who answered. The woman directly stated that she had found evidence of the mistress' misdeeds, and threatened her to do something for her. Upon hearing that her past misdeeds were about to be exposed, the mistress hastily agreed to the woman's demands.
He's pregnant. You've been married to my son for 5 years and you can't even fucking get pregnant.
At a party, the heroine Alice presented the evidence that the mistress had faked her pregnancy. The family sitting opposite her were her former mother-in-law and husband. It was because of the mistress' interference that she and her husband got divorced. And today, Alice came here just to take revenge on this family. She also revealed that her ex-husband's company was on the verge of bankruptcy, for she was a reborn person. After being reborn, she directly sought out her boyfriend from high school. With his help, she not only won a lottery worth $1 billion, but also acquired a company building located in the center of New York. Through these means, she successfully drove the family opposite her into bankruptcy. Subsequently, she insulted her ex-husband's mother in a shopping mall, saying that the woman would never be able to afford such expensive clothes and bags in her entire life.
No! We gotta go!
The woman was being forced to divorce by her mother-in-law and husband. In a critical moment, a strange man suddenly appeared. It turned out that he was a man who had a crush on the woman. His purpose of showing up at this moment was to resolve this divorce issue. With the man's help, she successfully managed to avoid the divorce. One day, when she was taking a walk, she unexpectedly met her ex-husband and his mistress. Inevitably, a quarrel broke out between them, which marked the beginning of the woman's revenge plan. First, she produced the evidence that the mistress had faked her pregnancy. Then, she caused the man's company to go bankrupt. Finally, she humiliated her former mother-in-law in a shopping mall. The woman, feeling delighted, called her best friend to share this happy moment with her. Later, she held a party at her home. Coincidentally, her secret admirer also showed up at this moment. And just like that, they started a happy life together.
Oh my God! You just fucking won! You just won!
In her previous life, Adoria suffered betrayal from her husband. Just when she thought she would end her life in resentment, she awoke to find herself having traveled back in time to a week before. This time, she filed for divorce before Eason did and called upon lawyer Elijah to secure her legal ownership of the vast wealth she was soon to acquire. Afterwards, penniless, Adoria borrowed $10 from Elijah to purchase a lottery ticket for the largest jackpot ever offered by the super stage. She congratulated Elijah on his investment of $20 billion. And though Elijah felt utterly confused, he accepted her words gracefully. However, Adoria now had no place to live, so Elijah offered that if she wished, she could stay in his apartment. Thus, the two began cohabiting. A few days later, the lottery drawing finally arrived, and Adoria got up early to remind Elijah, who was about to leave, not to forget to check the results that night.
Welcome to the Mega Ball. Now at a whopping $2.2 billion, the biggest in history. The first winning number is
2,
2. The next would be
14,
14,
16,
16,
Wait, what?
38,
38,
66,
66.
Holy shit. Okay, so you have those 5 lined up. All you need is the...
The Mega Ball is
9.